Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1972 Seattle Pilots What If Scenario. Today's matchup is between the Oakland Athletics and the Seattle Pilots at Brainiac Stadium. On the mound for the A's today is Vida, whose 1971 record was 17-12 with a 4.07 ERA. And pitching for the Pilots is Dave Boswell, whose 1971 record was 11-8 with a 3.80 ERA. Okay, today we kick off opening day for the 1972 season. If you are unfamiliar with what we do here, we've been playing this sim for 3 years. We began with 1969, which of course was the first and only season for the Seattle Pilots in Major League Baseball. They moved to Milwaukee 1 week before the 1970 season, and therefore Seattle never had another team until 1977 when the Seattle Mariners existed. So in our sim, we suppose, hey, what would have happened if the Seattle Pilots had remained in Seattle? Can we make this franchise a viable team? And so far the answer is no. Now, we did have success our first year. We actually went to the World Series. Don't ask me how it happened. You can watch that if you like. We have a playlist for that season on the Brainiac Baseball main YouTube page. You can check that out and see how we got through that year and managed to get to the World Series. I'm not going to spoil anything. But the second and third year that we played, we were both below 500, and we were struggling financially, which brings us to this 1972 season. Now, we did have a preseason video that I uploaded a couple of days ago. If you want to know more information in depth, I do recommend you watch that. You'll get caught up on everything that you need to know about this sim year before we begin today's opening day. The one thing I just want to point out, because I think it's pertinent to what we do here, is that we have upgraded our baseball sim from Baseball Mogul 2022 to Baseball Mogul 2025. This is the very first time I've ever played this version. I have never actually played a game in one pitch mode yet, so today's game will be our first attempt. I don't know what is different and what remains the same. Hopefully the game engine has been upgraded and improved, because I'm sure if you followed any of my other sims, you know my dissatisfaction with that. So I'm hoping today we will have a fun, entertaining, semi-realistic baseball experience. That's my goal. The only other thing to note is that we have a lot of the same players from last year because we have negative cash, which means we were not able to sign free agents, nor were we able to sign any long-term arbitration for our players. So we do have to make up this money before we can sign any free agents or make trades. Okay, so that's kind of a problem that we have. I do not expect that we will have a winning season this year. In fact, it's likely we could lose close to 100 games or more. But I think that will be the fun part of this challenge. And as we go ahead and get started with today's ball game, I just want to say thanks to everyone who has tuned in with all my other sims. Like and or subscribe to the channel. Be a subscriber. Every 40 games, we do give away prizes for free. I pay for the shipping. I pay for the prizes. Ooh, I already like the way this looks. Very cool looking. We've got Dave Boswell on the mound, as I mentioned. We have some new things that I want to show you as we go along through today's game that I've upgraded personally, including adding all the 1972 cards to this sim. If the player had a 1972 Topps card, it will be in this sim. So you'll see our 5-man rotation, which we upgraded as we completed our spring training yesterday. Here's our bullpen. Not looking too good right out of the gate, but it is what we have. And then we are facing a left-hander, Vida. We'll get to know him momentarily. And you'll see our lineup versus lefties. This is the final year that pitchers bat in the American League before the DH was instituted. That's, of course, it was in 1973. So we have one more year of pitchers batting, and you'll see our bench. Want to point out that John Bocabella did win the backup catching job, and I decided to add Johnny Jeter despite his terrible rating because he did have a killer spring training, and that meant Don Young did not make the team. Okay, let's go ahead and do the lineup rundown for the Oakland Athletics. And please take note of the 1972 Topps cards where applicable. Batting leadoff in center field is Rick Monday. Batting second in right field is Champ Summers. Batting third in left field is Joe RUDI. Batting cleanup and catching is Gene Tenace. Batting fifth at first base is Mike Epstein. Batting sixth at third base is Sal Bando. Batting seventh at shortstop is Dwain Anderson. Batting eighth at second base is Phil Garner. And batting ninth will be the pitcher, Vida Blue. Let's take a look at Dave Boswell, give you a little reminder of who he is. You'll see that last year in 30 starts, he went 11-8 with a 3.80 ERA, 154 strikeouts in 199 innings pitched. Opponents did bat 214 against him. He had 3 complete games and a couple shutouts. Fastball tops out at 89 miles an hour. High percentage for ground balls, it's 53.1%. You'll see that his slow curve is his out pitch. It's rated an 88 and a fastball rated an 80 for those of you that don't know. League average is 80. His overall rating is 81. And the 27-year-old righty is a free agent at the end of the 1974 season. I want to point out that when we have questions, we can click on the name of the player card, and it will take us to Baseball Reference, where we can take a look with our own eyes and check out any information that we need to know. The one thing I want to point out today is the one thing I pointed out in the video, the preseason video, which is that by 1972, Dave Boswell was already out of baseball. So here we have a 27-year-old pitcher, highly paid, and is not actually in baseball in real life. So I think he's going to probably see his stats denigrate pretty quickly here. He was a 20-game winner in 1969 in real life, and he did lead the American League in winning percentage in 1966, as you can see with that 12-5 record. Okay, that's all I wanted to point out about Dave Boswell. Let's get to the game here. Take a look at the defense for the Seattle Pilots. Outfield, pretty strong for a 1972 team. In left field, we have Jose Cruz. In center field, we have Scott Northey, has pretty decent range. In right field is Dave Parker. The game kind of disrespects Dave Parker. Of course, he had a great arm, but not in this sim, unfortunately. Infield, somewhat weak, with defensive ratings on the left side, both below league average of 80. Third base is Rich Rollins, who probably should not be starting, but will. At shortstop, we have Rick Auerbach, who, despite a poor rating, is pretty good defensively with his range. Second base is Tito Fuentes, and at first base is Rose Skidmore. Behind home plate is Manny Sanguillen. Take a look at him really quick, and as a reminder, we'll let you know that he has a 78 rated arm, so below league average. Base runners will likely attempt to steal on him. Last year, he threw out 30% of base runners, which I think is pretty average from what we've learned in playing this sim. Okay, here we go. Opening day, kicking it off is Rick Monday, left-handed hitter for the Oakland A's. And he crushes it! Oh, no! Oh, man. 411 feet to right field. Now, listen, I have to say this. Keep in mind, Brainiac stadium is built off of 6 Stadium, which was the Seattle Pilots' original stadium name. All of the dimensions are the same, but the game did not know what to do with the data because there was no games being played, obviously, there in 1972. It had all the information for the stadium effects at 100, which is just average. So I did have it recalculate. And so whatever the results are going to be for this year, I have no idea. I couldn't tell you specifically what this season could entail. But a leadoff home run for Rick Monday, and we're down 1-0 already. Here is Champ Summers, a terrible fielder. Remember his time with the Tigers, mostly a DH and a pinch hitter. Champ Summers strikes out. That's Dave Boswell's first victim of the year. 1 down. Next man up is the left fielder Joe RUDI, and RUDI will strike out on a check swing. Back-to-back Ks for Dave Boswell, and that'll leave it up to Gene Tennis to get a little rally going. He'll take ball 4. So we got the poo-poo platter right out of the gate with the strikeout walk combo. Tennis does walk a lot, among the league leaders last year in on-base percentage. Here's Mike EPSTEIN, who came over in a trade last year to the A's and was actually on the A's in real life. Ground ball to short, and Auerbach will handle it himself, going to second base. So we go to the bottom of the first. Let's take a look at our lineup for today. Batting leadoff here on opening day is Tito Fuentes, our second baseman. Batting second, as we get some cooperation from the game. Batting second at third base is Rich Rollins. Batting third in right field is Dave Parker. Batting cleanup at first base is Rose Skidmore. Batting fifth in left field is Jose CRUZ. Batting sixth and catching is Manny SANGUILLEN. Batting seventh in center field is Scott Northey. Batting eighth at shortstop is Rick Auerbach. And batting ninth will be the pitcher Dave Boswell. Okay, Vida Blue. Here's a pitcher I'm sure everyone knows. You'll see what he did last year. He made 36 starts. He went 17-12 with a 4.07 ERA, 197 strikeouts, and 259 innings pitched. Opponents batted .250 against him. He had 6 complete games, no shutouts. His fastball tops out at 89 miles an hour. Ground ball percentage is 44.4%. His fastball is his best pitch, rated a 91, so that's elite level. And he's got a good secondary pitch with the curveball, rated at 83. Even his changeup is just below league average. And his overall rating is a 94. The 22-year-old left-hander is arbitration eligible at the end of this year. Looking at his vitals, just wanted to see if he had anything that he accumulated stat-wise from last year. Nothing here of note. And we'll click on Vida Blue's name, and we'll get his overall baseball reference information, which I always find kind of fascinating. Vida Blue certainly put up some good numbers in his career. He won an MVP. He won a Cy Young, 6-time All-Star, 3-time World Series champion. As you know, they won 3 years in a row during the 70s. He also won an ERA title. Probably also remember that he was suspended for the 1984 season, as you can see right here, from cocaine use. I believe he was arrested for that and missed an entire year of his career. You see up here the 1971 season that we just played. He went 24-8 real life and led in ERA and shutouts. He won the Cy Young and the MVP. In 1972 in real life, he kind of bounced back. 6-10 with a 2.80 ERA. Must have suffered an injury because he only started 23 games and threw 151 innings. There you go, Vida Blue. All right, let's get to the gameplay here. Get everything back to normal. This is the first time we're doing that baseball reference thing, so it's going to take a moment to somewhat figure it out. If you look at our uniforms, obviously these are not the typical Seattle Pilots uniforms, but what I decided to do is give us a third jersey in which it would correspond with the color of the Milwaukee Brewers Topps baseball cards from that year. So if you see any Milwaukee Brewers, you'll know that this was the color scheme for them. Okay. All right, here we go. Tito Fuentes. Oh, we got to look at the, look at the defense for the A's. Left field pretty strong with Joe RUDI. Center field with Rick Monday, league average. And we know Champ Summers is terrible. In right field. Looks like the shortstop position is rough with Dwain Anderson. But up the middle, they do have at second base Phil Garner, who is a rookie in this season in our sim. Third base is great with Sal Bando. First is Mike EPSTEIN, more of a power hitter. And behind home plate, one of the worst catchers in the American League, a 66 rated arm. We may run on him if we have an opportunity to be with a lefty on the mound. The percentage goes down a couple ticks. Okay, here we go. Tito Fuentes leading off. Tito Fuentes, nickname Parakeet. We've added all the nicknames that we could find from Baseball Reference to this game as Fuentes flies out to right center field. So try to add a little bit more depth to the game. One out. Here's Rich Rollins, finished second in the American League in batting average last year. Batted .307. A line drive to third. Sal Bando spears it for out number 2. And here's Dave Parker. We gave him a little bit of a call-up last year at age 19. Did not produce well for us, and also played terrible defensively. Oh, his arm rating has gone up to an 86, though. That's amazing and very realistic. So that's good. I'm glad to see that. So we need a little bit more from Dave Parker this year if we want to win a few games. And Parker's going to strike out looking. Something new that I've noted just now in the 2025 version is in one pitch mode, you do actually see the pitches count up to the pitch of which there's an out made or contact. So I think that's kind of interesting. An easy 1-2-3 inning for Vida Blue. We go to the top of the second. Sal Bando will lead it off, followed by Dwain Anderson and Phil Garner. There you go. You see that there? 2-1 count. Ground ball to first, and Skidmore will take it on his own. 1 down. Next man up is Dwain Anderson. He is a rookie, making his major league debut at age 24. 1-2. Ground ball to second. Fuentes will make the play. Who do you think will hit the first home run for us this year? And who do you think will make the first error? Here's another rookie, Phil Garner, you'll see, making his major league debut. The A's did lose Reggie Jackson to free agency, and he is still available here on opening day. Garner popping it up. And potentially a 1-2-3 inning? Yes. Okay, very good. Okay, so far, other than the leadoff home run, gameplay seems to be fairly realistic. So I'm feeling good about that. Bottom of the second, here is Rose Skidmore leading it off. Rose Skidmore getting a chance to be the everyday first baseman. And it's Rose Skidmore with our first home run of the year. 430 feet to center field, and we are tied at 1. So I wonder if Brainiac Stadium's going to play as more of a home run stadium this year than a pitcher stadium. Tied up at 1, nobody out. Here's Jose Cruz, lefty on lefty violence, and Blue will walk Cruz. We are going to try to steal second base. 74% chance of stealing. I like those odds. If Blue throws the curveball, that would be helpful. Let's see how it goes. Here's Manny Sanguillen. Cruz on first, going first pitch, right on the middle, and he's thrown out. It was a fastball. And Cruz is out number 1. Hopefully we get a rally going. I hate when we run ourselves out of an inning. Manny SANGUILLEN will pop it up to second. Play made by Phil Garner. 2 down, and NORTHEY get his first at-bat of the year. Came over in a trade from the Royals last year. Base hit into center field. Good job by NORTHEY. He also has good speed. And with 2 out, I think we're obligated to run. With CRUZ, it was just let's take a chance. With NORTHEY, I think we don't have much of an option. With the bottom of the lineup, it's a pitch out, he's thrown out. So the worst catcher in the American League is 2 for 2 this year. And that is the kind of thing that makes me a little bit concerned about the game engine. We go to the top of the third, and Vida Blue will lead it off. If he gets a double, I will probably snap my laptop in half. 1-2. And Boswell strikes out Blue. That is his 3rd strikeout of the season. Of the game. And the season, I guess. We're back to the top of the lineup with Rick Monday. Of course, he went deep. He's got 3 career home runs off of Dave Boswell, you saw there. As he grounds out to the pitcher. 2 down, and Champ Summers with a 1-0 count. Pulls it to Fuentes for out number 3. A 1-2-3 inning, bottom of the 3rd. Here's Rick Auerbach. He became our everyday shortstop right around the halfway mark of the season. I think it was right before the All-Star game last year. We gave him shortstop. Previously it was Freddie Patek, who we traded to the Brewers. We're not going to try to steal. I mean, we don't have a chance. We will try to bunt with Dave Boswell. He's going to try to drop it like it's hot. 0-2. And a good bunt back to Blue. And Auerbach will advance to second. So we've got a runner in scoring position. Trying to manufacture a run. Let's see if Tito Fuentes can move him along. Ground ball up the middle to the shortstop. Auerbach advancing. That was a risky play. I would not recommend doing that. He is safe at third with 2 outs. And Rich Rollins looking to give us the lead. 1-2. And he ropes it into left center field. That might even be a double. Triple. Okay. Well, that's unexpected. But it's an RBI triple for Rich Rollins. Could have been our MVP last year. Look at those numbers. He only walked 19 times, youch. But he did bat .307, which, as I mentioned before, was good enough for second in the American League. He drives in his first run of the year. Okay, 2-1. And Dave Parker, 3-1 count. Right down the middle, and he taps it back to Blue. And there's out number 3. So the Pilots jump ahead 2-1, top of the 4th. We're back to Joe RUDI. Now, these are the actual uniform colors for the Oakland A's. I did use the proper uniforms for home and away. You can look that up at the Hall of Fame website, and that's how you know what the uniforms look like. So those are all accurate. I do have 3rd jerseys for everyone in the American League, as I mentioned, that I just kind of created on my own. 0-1 count, and it looks like RUDI is going to go over the head of right fielder Parker and CRUZ into second base for a leadoff double. Obviously his first double of the year. He had 25 last year. And in scoring position for Gene Tennis. He walked the first time up. Now he's got a full count. Good sweeping curveball for Boswell. As it's popped up into shallow right field. Caught by Fuentes. 1 out. Here's the power hitter. Now, Mike Epstein has a nickname that's a little bit racist. I'm not going to lie. Of course, this was a different era. But that's his nickname right there. I don't feel comfortable saying it, but I will point it out because this was his nickname in real life, and it is So, on Baseball Reference. Okay, Mike Epstein. First pitch swinging, ground ball to short. Auerbach will check the runner, and Rudy's going to. So will all base runners automatically run to third with a ground ball to short? That seems very unlikely. So runner third with 2 outs for Sal Bando. Kind of feel like I would want him to walk Bando. We'll see what the game does here. First pitch swinging. Ground ball to short. Auerbach, despite that rating, does seem to get the job done. We go to the bottom of the fourth, strand that runner at third, and Skidmore will lead it off. Now, did Skidmore really not have an at-bat last year versus Vida Blue? It doesn't feel realistic. There's a ground ball to first. One down. Now, I guess if it was opening day, I probably wouldn't want the third jersey to be the opening day jersey. But I guess we don't have a choice in that matter. Here's Jose Cruz, 1-1 count. Pops it up on the infield. Somebody's going to call for it. Looks like the second baseman will. Garner makes the grab. Vida Blue, only 1 strikeout. Are we a contact team? That is a quite good question. It's a ground ball to third. And that'll do it. 1-2-3 inning. Top of the 5th. Boswell looking pretty good, other than the leadoff home run. Here is Dwain Anderson with a comebacker. I will never forget 1984 Detroit Tigers. Opening day, I was at school, and leadoff hitter for the Boston Red Sox, Dwight Evans, hit a home run, earliest home run ever hit in a season at the time, and it was a ground ball to short. And you can find that on YouTube. I've looked it up before. Boswell looking pretty sharp. Let's see if we can get Vida Blue. 2-2 count, and he strikes him out. This I like to see. I like to see the pitcher striking out versus another pitcher, at least an ace of a pitcher. 2-1, Seattle, bottom of the 5th inning. Scott Northey at the plate. There's Scott Northey's numbers versus Vida Blue. 4 for 15, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. 0-2. He pulls it to third. Sal Bando will make the play. The Bandalorian, as we like to call him. Did I make that his nickname? Kind of want to know. Vitals. Nope, he's Captain Sal. That is his nickname. And as you can see, he's got 2 All-Stars in our sim, including a Gold Glove and 3 career Grand Slams. So all of that information has been compiled only in our sim, not including what he did in real life. 1 out, here's Rick Auerbach. And Auerbach going down the right field line. A double. I don't feel like he had a lot of doubles last year. 12 doubles in 251 at-bats. A 690 OPS, so he's below 700, which is a kind of like the watermark, I guess, for any hitter. Dave Boswell, we're going to let him swing away. Yeah, we could lay down a bunt, but we've already got 1 sacrifice. I feel like a second one seems unlikely. 1-2. Whoa, he makes contact. Ground ball to first. That will get Auerbach to third anyway. 2 down for Tito Fuentes. And a ground ball to first. That should do it. Stranding a runner at third. Go to the top of the 6th. Dave Boswell at 71 pitches. His endurance is 87. I assume he can go at least 110. I'm trying to remember from last year. Here's his arch nemesis, Rick Monday, with a 1-2 count. And he pulls it into right field for a base hit. Just squeaks through the infield, actually. Rick Monday, will he be going? Or will they have the hit and run on with Summers, who's a very good contact hitter? 1-0 count to Summers, and he goes the other way. That'll get a run in. A double for Champ. That's his first of the year. And we're tied at 2. All right. We head into the heart of the order with Joe Rudi, runner at second. And a base hit will give him the lead, 3-2. Now this feels like what I would imagine this season will look like for us. We might have a few pitching strengths early on, but we can't expect the game to give us anything, as that's 4 hits in a row. And this game is probably done, I would imagine. Will Mike Epstein hit a home run here? There he goes to left field. 5 hits in a row. So what am I supposed to do here? I guess we take out Boswell, who's now, what, a 5-inning pitcher? Oops, let's go to this season. There he is. All right, well, we've got a pretty bad bullpen, including only 2 right-handers. And that means we'll call in Ray Peters. Ray. Take a look at him. Had a really good year last year. Solid numbers. Opponents batted .247 against him. I don't like that he walked more than he struck out, but, it didn't really cost him. Maybe he was walking a thin line there. Here we go. Ray Peters into the game. Too little, too late, I would imagine. That's going to be a base hit to center. 6 hits in a row. So Baseball Mogul has not changed at all. Nothing we can do. We'll pull the infield in. Will it make a difference? Well, Peters strikes out Anderson. Got to pull the infield in again. Still Garner. And he walks him. Vida Blue. Infield in. Full count. And he's... Oh my gosh. That was painting the corner. Take a look right there. He probably could have called it ball 4, which would have walked in a run. That'll do it for Ray Peters. Unhelpful. We got lots of lefties to work with, though. Let's bring in Sid Mungie. We could go... I mean, this game is over. So we could actually go with our schlubs that are lefties. But we want to have a reasonable score today. Sid Mungie, take a look at what he did last year. As a 19-year-old, what options did we have? He also walked more than he struck out. But opponents only batted .195 against him. Let's see what Mungie can do versus Rick Monday. Monday struggled last year, batting .222 versus lefties. 1-1, and a pop-up on the infield. Auerbach will make the play. They get 4 in the inning. Have a commanding lead, 5-2. Bottom of the 6th, here is Rich Rollins with his second hit of the ball game. Do we want to go for 2? I think we have to say no. This is the first time this has popped up this year. And we're going to say no because we are not allotting any money toward our coaches, so I don't think they know jack shit. Let's hit and run, though. We haven't done that yet today. Here's Dave Parker, 0 for 2, and an 0-2 count. Strike him out, throw him out. Wow. We've been thrown out 3 times on the base path today. All right. More things change, the more they stay the same. 3 strikeouts. We go to the top of the 7th inning. We'll let Mungie pitch to Champ. How does he do here? Is that going to be a slice base hit? Yeah, all right. All right. Mungie's out of the game. We have no other right-handers but our closer. We'll bring him in, why not? Here's Wayne Granger. He was our closer last year. We got him into trade with Cincinnati. He blew a lot of saves, folks. He's not very good. I think that 82 rating is not accurate. I think he's actually probably around 77, but unfortunately our guys on the base path and in the dugout don't know this. I mean, these are all bloop hits. There's nothing we can do to stop it. That's the 10th hit, and this game is done. Fly ball to right. Parker's got a cannon. Are they going to run on him? Yeah. Yeah, because it makes sense that Champ Summers with like a 60 speed would run. Ground ball up the middle. No chance at a double play. And Sal Bando with a ground ball to third. They go the short route to second. We've got a defensive replacement for the A's. I like seeing that. It's Cesar Geronimo. He's coming into right field. And he's got a 97 rating. Look at that. 99, 99, 97. This is his major league debut. And he was actually on the Reds in 1972. So he does have a card. Only 67 pitches for Vida Blue today. This is a complete game win for him. Jose Cruz with a ground ball to second. One out. Here is Manny Sanguillen, 0 for 2 today. Base hit to center. And a fielding error. That's new. Instead of just saying error, it says fielding error. Are there any other kind of errors? Or does it say throwing error? I guess we'll have to find that out together. Stupid, but okay. You could just say E5 and we'll get it. Is the game going to give us a run? Let's find out. Yeah. So that only happened for us to score. And that's an unearned run. Oh no, it's not an unearned run. So it was a base hit and then an error. That's why it was unearned. No, that it was not unearned. My bad. Okay. Northey on first. There's no point in running. We're already 3 for 3 in caught stealing. So the game has already taken that from us, and they'll get a double play, despite us having a 92 speed on the base path. And they had Mike Epstein at first, and we couldn't turn it on them. So, unfortunately, nothing has changed with Baseball Mogul in the gameplay mode. Granger coming out for another inning of work. He gets a ground ball. Full count to Garner. There's his first career hit, a double, because of course. The pitcher, Vida Blue. And the pitcher gets a hit. Okay. So nothing has changed. We can just wrap it up now. Full count. Another base hit. Oh, no, that'll be called. So disappointing. 13 hits. Fly ball to right center. Oh, would be caught. Bottom of the 8th inning. Granger will come out. He gave up a run on 4 hits. Didn't walk anybody. Didn't strike out anybody. Who do we bring in? You know, let's bring in Johnny Jeter, and I'll tell you why. He went 20 for 68 in spring training with 7 extra base hits, despite being terrible rating-wise and being terrible every time we've trotted him out there. He's been pretty bad. So let's see if he's any different now that his spring training has showed him, being competent. Nope, it's the same. Everything is the same. Tito Fuentes will ground out. He'll wrap it up 0 for 4 today. Rich Rollins 2 for 3, and he'll pop it up. We go to the 9th inning. We'll bring in, we'll let him play defense. He's pretty good defensively. Go into center field. And we will bring in, my name is Earl. Earl Stevenson, there he is. We'll take a look at him if you haven't seen him before. Actually had a 1972 Topps card for the Brew Crew. And he was bad. And now he has to pitch no matter what. Oh, God. Here we go. And a base hit. Has to be right. Yeah, of course it is. Of course. Lefty on lefty. And we got to walk him. Awesome. So good. 1-2. 3-run home run. Oh, this is going to be a long year, folks. Okay, Anderson popping up. An error by the catcher. Stevenson did not record an out. What about Bill Edgerton? Let's bring him in. Bill Edgerton living on the edge. Also horrible in almost every way. Here's a pitcher who's already got 1 hit today. Here's the first out. Rick Monday full count. Walk the bases loaded. Cesar Geronimo. The bases clearing triple. Joe Rudy. Gene Tennis. And lefty on lefty. 2-2. Fly ball to right center. Did that fall in? No? Okay. All right. Looks like a opening day complete game for Vida Blue. 85 pitches. Dave Parker, 0 for 3 today. So he did not learn how to hit left-handers in the offseason. Here's Rose Skidmore, our lone bright spot. And wrapping it up with Jose Cruz. That, folks, was brutal. That was our opening day. We lose 12-3 at home in front of how many people? I guess we'll find out. Well, this is a little bit different. I like the little square around that. I mean, that's kind of neat, I suppose. Let's take a look at the standings. And you'll see that the Texas Rangers won their very first game. Cool, cool. Take a look at the National League. There you go, if you're curious. Not a lot to see there. Let's take a look at headline news. Brainiac Baseball Daily Beat. That is our newspaper. And first place belongs to the A's. 12-3 win. Oh, good job, Baseball Mogul. Let's just go ahead and put that in there. Can't actually do the math. That's good. I also have the newest version. I have, like, where it should be debugged, but I guess it's not. Transactions. What do we got going on here? This is opening day, so that's April 1st. Bert Hooten, Rootin' tootin' hootin'. Got a spiked Achilles. Is going to miss a month after having a pretty good opening day start for the Cubs. That's a bummer. Larry Heisel for the Phillies lost a tooth. What? Seriously? That's a new one. It's more embarrassing than normal. Larry Dierker, he was the Cy Young Award winner. Last year going 19-10, he pulled a quad. I feel like that's a new injury as well in the game. So that's exciting. And Joe Sambito for the Angels had a shoulder separation down there in, well, he didn't even play yet. Okay. All right. Makes sense. Logical. Very logical. All right. Let's pull up the box score and get out of here. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate everyone who came back to watch this new series. I wish I could give you some hope, but it feels like more of the same, does it not? All right. Let's take a look here. Dave Boswell gets a loss on opening day. Could not get into the 6th inning. Could not actually get an out in the 6th inning. Gave up 4 runs. That's a bad sign. Although we know he was not in Major League Baseball in 1972, so what could we possibly expect? So he takes the loss. Everybody in the bullpen did terrible. Rick Auerbach, Rick, Rich, and Rowe all got an extra base hit. We were caught stealing 3 times, so we never had a chance on the base path with the worst catcher in the league. And our catcher decided to make an error. That's great. Take a look at the A's. Vida Blue gets a complete game victory on opening day, 101 pitches. Good job by him. And they had 2 home runs. A leadoff home run. Literally, I didn't actually say this because I had hope. But literally the game was over on the first pitch of the game. That's typical baseball mogul. And they had 6 total extra base hits, including a hit by the pitcher, of course, because that is very realistic. All right. So there you have it, folks. There's opening day, 1972. We will be back tomorrow with Game 2 of the season. Until then, everyone, have a great day.